People, Deluded, I'm back again. A quick video. I promise I'm not going to be here long. But you know me, I'm a big fan of accountability. You know, I think Arteta has to face the music whether we win, lose or draw. That's the nature of the game. But also the players. Now, it's a double-edged sword. Sometimes the tactics don't set up for the players. But when I look at this Arsenal team, I want leaders. I want responsibility. I want men that stand up to be counted. Like I've always said, I don't think we're getting top four. But what I wanted to see is more of a fight. When we're going into games against the big teams, away from home or at home, you're making them work for the points. You know, when you're playing City and Liverpool in particular, two teams where, best of days, unless it's FA Cup, we ain't beating them. Make them have to show their quality, their individual quality. Then I'll hold my hands up as a fan. I'll say, boy, my team tried. We made it hard. You know, they've got Mohamed Salah, Sadio Mane, them and they are world-class, top-class players. They made the difference, you know. Same goes for if you play City or Leicester yesterday. You say, all right, boy, that's why Jamie Vardy's a Premier League legend and one of the best strikers in the Prem and has been. You give him a minute, he does what he needs to do. But as soon as Jamie Vardy came on, you know the goal was happening. He was getting way too much space. And this is where, as much as I talk about tactics and whatnot, players have got to show accountability. It's a long season. If we want to have, all I want to see is more of a fight for the top four, you know. We're like how Chelsea and United got it last year. If that same sort of thing happens, and it's been a crazy Premier League year already, so it might do, I want to see Arsenal there mathematically. I don't want to be like last season where we're ruling it out. You know, I don't think we're getting top four. My heart bleeds for top four. My heart will make me say in these videos, yo, top four. But in my brain, I don't think we can, because, you know, top games, we've had 3 chances against the top 6 now. Yeah, we beat Leicester and Liverpool in the Carling Cup, you know, and we've got City, ironically, 3 teams we failed to beat in the league. Hopefully we can get a result. In the league, it's not relevant, you know. Leicester, quality 22 minutes, 25 minutes from us. Fortunately, there's 70-odd minutes played. And again, a late goal from Jamie Vardy. Which one of these players is clocking? You know, game management has to be spot on. They brought on a Jamie Vardy. Half an hour to go. You know, we've got tired legs. Make sure you don't leave this guy. And they're catching us 2v1 for that goal. You know, it's a lovely pass from Telemans. Why are we, you know, Mustafi bleeding? You know, I mean, he's just bleeding out there. Since he went on in defence, he was just bleeding. You know, it looked like a scab that he's just bleeding in our defence. He's dying out there, and it was a lapse in concentration. Gabriel's begging him to cover. You know, midfield is not dropping. This is what I mean by accountability. Tactics and how Arteta is putting us to play is harming our attacking players, you know. No, we're not excelling collectively. There's not one individual player apart from Bukayo Saka in an attacking sense showing us real consistency. You know, that's down for the tactics, but that's also down for the players. Saka, decision making could have been a bit better yesterday in 2 incidences, but 9 times out of 10 he's more consistent, he's more at it than people that have been around the block more than him. Why is that? Saka should be a player that needs his hands held. Why is he holding these experienced players' hands? They've got to take accountability. Aubameyang's not scoring because he ain't scoring. He's up there for tackles and tracking back, and you could say, you know, what he's being demanded of, he's not in areas to affect the team. I get that, I sympathise with that. But Aubameyang hasn't scored because Aubameyang hasn't scored. And by that same token, this is what I mean, you know, when you consider these top 6 games, you know, we failed against all 3 teams we've played, we failed, you know, we've made it, we've shot ourselves in the foot. We can talk about game plans, we've been toothless, we've been a bit defeated, you know, 1 shot in the second half against Leicester. Liverpool we rolled over. Many people will say there was a game plan against City. I think there was, but we respected them too much. That's down to Arteta, but it's also down to the players. And if we're going to get top 4 or have a fight, reliability, consistency are 2 things. I only see that with a couple of men. I know Aubameyang's not scoring, but let's cut the crap, you know. Again, unless a mad thing happens, and I know rival fans hope he stop scoring, but you know 9 times out of 10 he is scoring his goals. He's a reliable man. Tierney for me is reliable. Bukayo Saka is showing me consistency to say he's reliable. Gabriel has shown me enough to say he's reliable. You know, I think again, it's early days, but from what I've seen at Partey at Atletico, and sometimes you just know, I'd throw Partey in that. Maybe I'm even reaching with that. You know, Leno has a lot of criticisms, but 9 times out of 10, Leno's putting in good performances in goal. You know, if you want, you can exclude Leno and Partey from what I'm about to say, but for me, that's 4 to 6 players, you know, that I'm seeing with real consistency over a 38-game period. You know, we need 25 man, you know, it's 11 players starting. I've said 6. Where's the other 5? You know, 25 other men. Do you get it? I've said 6. Where's the other squad? We can't, them 6 man can't win it in themselves. Individuals make the difference. A team and a collective wins you titles, gets you top 4, keeps you from relegation. And these players have got to want to be accountable. Before they talk about being accountable to the manager, accountable to the fans, accountable to the club, be accountable in themselves. You know, I saw a couple of men yesterday that it genuinely hurt them to lose. They didn't want to, and I think it hurts all the boys to lose. But I don't think they're dying to win. We isn't dying to score. We're not dying to win. Only a couple men are dying to be accountable to themselves. You know, how many of Arsenal players could leave that field saying you did what you could, you played to your maximum? I think this, how Arteta is setting you up is crippling a lot of you, but at the same time there isn't too many people. You know, there's too many hot and cold men in this team. Big up David Luiz because he was good yesterday, and I'm not criticising Luiz because he goes through form. You know, good and bad form. Holding's irrelevant to this, but Holding the same. Mustafi the same. You know, he was terrible yesterday, and he was terrible his whole Arsenal career really, and up until, you know, in fact that point where we never lost a game with him was decent. But people will be back to loving him last season as they would when he shows his consistency, and as they should. You praise and critique fairly, but we all know Mustafi is capped. You know, I'm a big fan of Bellerin. You don't know what better performance yesterday, but you don't know what Bellerin you're gonna get. Like Ceballos, hot and cold. Like Xhaka, hot and cold. You know, got a lot of time for Lacazette, hot and cold. You know, got a lot of time for Pepe, frustrating, hot and cold. Willian, not again, irrelevant, hot and cold. There's too much inconsistent man in this team. Arteta, you need to pattern up as well with your tactics, but the players have got to take responsibility. It's a collective. It's not good enough, people. It's not good enough, and there's no need to be doom and gloom. There's still a lot to play for, but for me, it's about the building blocks. It's about what we're seeing. It's about the mentality. I'm still seeing the same old frailties from last season, and if I'm seeing the same old collective things, and I'm not seeing any small improvement in such, you know, can we be surprised if we turn around and lo and behold, the same thing happens from last season? So there's a lot of question marks on the team. I don't think we should be banging on the drums about manager out and whatnot, but the manager has set himself up for a lot of scrutiny. And why I believe in Arteta, you ain't giving yourself a leg to stand on, specifically in relation to creativity. You knew that was a big part of our problems. In fact, you know, even in pre-season, you should have said to yourself, you know what, we've patterned up a bit defensively. It's a creative thing. Didn't bring Auer in. Didn't bring in a next man, you know, ain't fixed it in-house, you know. You have to face criticism. The man are always going to speak about Ozil. If you had Ozil on that bench or whatever and he's anonymous, you know, you could say, look, you could do a Jose, look, I play Ozil, that's why I don't play him, or something like that. Or people will turn around and say, listen, he's played an attacking lineup, he's played Ozil, they ain't broken him down, he needs better players. But you set yourself up for failure when you say not playing Ozil is a sporting decision, when you ain't brought in a man, when you ain't looking like you're solving this in-house, when, you know, creativity needs to come from everywhere on the pitch, and it only looks like if Saka ain't on it, or a couple man ain't on it, or the occasional 18-19 pass move, or the occasional moment, we're still relying on moments. A bit like on the Emirates. So I back Arteta, but we've got to keep it trill, people. On that note, though, I've got nothing more to say, man. I've spoken about this Arsenal-Leicester game enough. On that note, as I said, I'm out, man. Please like the video, please comment, please subscribe. DG.